In Austin, I'm Daranisha Herron. A mysterious installation in downtown Austin is sparking lots of conversation. Some metal rails and loops on planters seem to have appeared out of nowhere. And as KVUE's Kelsey Sanchez reports, it's leading to more questions than answers.
It's tacky.
I don't like them.
Don't know what they are, so don't really know.
There's some mystery and confusion when it comes to these planters in the area of Brazos and East 6th Street.
Maybe they don't want people to sit out here anymore. Could be. I have no idea.
Some folks, like Kevin Ryan, didn't even notice the metal rails and loops until KVUE pointed them out. City officials say that they're not responsible for installing the metal rails and loops, but so far in this intersection alone, I've seen at least 10 planters with them, but not all of them have them installed. The city added Austin Transportation and Public Works has an inspector looking into who did it and will address the issue. However, once the city did respond, we had one more question. So now I'm asking them whether or not it is a public or private property. The city wouldn't share that information. While the mystery remains, the metal rails and loops are keeping people guessing what their purpose is.
I've been homeless in other cities, and over there in Denver, they do kind of the same thing. Wherever unhoused folks tend to gather, sometimes they do sweeps, then they come back with like boulders and kind of place them there so people won't, I guess, congregate or camp.
For those who live on the streets, they say whoever installed the metal rails and loops, and whatever the reason, it doesn't make a difference.
I'm going to sit here anyway. I know how to get. I've been doing this for 20 years. Those.
KVUE reached out to the Downtown Austin Alliance about the installation, and they too say they had no part in it. A mystery still unsolved. In downtown Austin, Kelsey Sanchez, KVUE News.
Kelsey, thank you. Austin's long-awaited light rail, known as Project Connect, is one step closer to becoming reality. Federal officials signed off on the environmental review, but questions about how to pay for the massive project are still looming. KVUE's Daniel Gomez shows us where things stand.
Mahesh Vengavalu makes his way downtown on Cap Metro's Red Line.
It's awesome. It's having a system like this in Texas. I hope it continues to grow.
While James Johnson is making his way home up north.
I rely on my e-bike. So me not having a car, I have to rely on the train just to get into the city.
In the coming years, Austinites will have another option to get around. The Austin Transit Partnership is inching closer to getting federal funds to build a light rail as part of Project Connect. The nearly 10-mile rail will run from UT's campus to downtown to near the airport.
There's not surprise gotcha moments normally in this progression, so kind of we're continuing to advance to deliver.
Jennifer Pine says the federal government's approval of its final environmental impact statement clears the path to roughly $4 billion in funding. About $7 billion is needed for the entire project.
So we've actually been moving through the steps quite efficiently. To complete the record of decision and be in this place within 2 years is quite efficient.
The long-anticipated Project Connect is a journey voters approved in 2020. The proposed design has been scaled back since then. Property tax revenue will help pay for a good chunk of the project in addition to the federal funding that's needed.
I expect we'll be working through due diligence with FTA for the next probably 18 plus months or so.
In the meantime, commuters continue to rely on what's currently available.
I'm sure there's a lot of back and forth finances in that. I do hope, of course, as fast as possible.
Well, I'm from Houston, so I know how that could be because I remember when we got the light rail in Houston, it took a long time. I would say just be patient. Because it sounds like it's coming.
Waiting a little longer as Austin's long-promised light rail inches closer from vision to reality.
The Austin Transit Partnership says confidence is high after the milestone in this process. It does expect to break ground in 2027. The goal is to have the light rail online in 2033. The Challenger street newspaper employs unhoused people to write articles. It says a way for them to earn money. KVUE's Jessica Cha spoke to a few members on the team about how it works and the impact it makes on them.
Standing in the median of Menchaca and Stasny in South Austin are people like Bob Schrey selling The Challenger.
To be able to make some money, legally.
It's a newspaper about the streets of Austin, written by those who know it best.
The Challenger newspaper is a street paper that is 95% street written, and it is distributed by unhoused people.
Valerie Romness, a homeless advocate, says the idea came about 15 years ago when a few unhoused friends of hers wanted to create a platform to share their stories.
So I'm like, why did you pick the Challenger? And they said, because it's challenging to be homeless. So we offer employment and independence. People can make their own hours, and they distribute Challengers on a donation basis.
So every Sunday, about 10 to 15 members on the team meet at City Hall or the Central Library to write articles and create the content. Print the edition out, about 400 copies a month.
Get them all lined up and then fold them in half. And there we go.
The paper does what it says what it does. We're real, and this paper works.
Clifton Pappas, who's been writing and distributing for the newspaper for over a year now, says it helps to dispel stereotypes about them.
Not all unhoused people are drug addicts or mentals. Over 80% of America's 2 checks from being right here.
And it helps motivate them even when times are tough.
I stay to myself and get very reclusive and standoffish and out of the way. But put the paper in my hand, how you doing?
And Schrey says the cash really does help give them a bit more freedom. They collect 100% of the donation someone pays to buy a copy of the paper.
Place to get a meal or some clothing or whatever resources I might need.
Schrey says this job will ultimately help get him a higher paying job and his identification in more ways than one.
It gives us more dignity because we're selling something to people and not just like asking, hey, can you spare some change or something?
Not asking for a handout, but a hand up to get back on their feet. In Austin, Jessica Cha, KVUE News.
That's really cool, Jessica. Thank you. Those are the headlines here in Austin. I'm Darrenisha Heron.